Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where in this motherfucking world you are joining me from. I am a slightly annoyed Illuminati, and this is the Crypto and Cognac podcast show. As always, well, not always, right? For the first time ever, live 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live here on YouTube. I finished my drink because technology. Technology will always embarrass you. Let me tell you something. Technology will always embarrass you. You understand? Technology is like a bad girl. You understand? Or a bad man. You understand? They will always embarrass you though. But give thanks we have Hennessy. So it's me and you and my Hennessy again. And this evening, again, we are talking about not president elect, but the sitting president of the United States, Mr. Donald John Trump. You see, that's where you get for bad talking. The president of the United States, the most powerful nation on earth. You understand? You want to bad talk the man on your podcast while they drink alcohol all the way in the Caribbean next to his enemies, Venezuela, and they expect technology not to come for you. Anyway, guys, welcome back, right? And before I get back into it, right, we're going to do some housekeeping. As always, this is not a financial advisory podcast. I am not a financial advisor. As always, the little bit of ice rule, information, conversation, education. Can't stop, won't stop. Do your own research. And what are we talking about this evening? We are talking about the 3 day tenure of President Donald John Trump. Is this real? Are we in the real world? Right? You know, they always say it's Trinidad is not a real place. I feel like the world is not a real place because we have the sitting president of the most powerful nation on earth being a crypto degen. Trump launched his own token, right? 2 days, 2 days before his inauguration, Friday evening when people was trying to get to their fete, Trump was launching. What's the name of the token? Obviously, Trump, right? Launching his own token, which absolutely blew up, absolutely decimated every other token in the crypto space by sucking all the liquidity out of the market. Solana did very, very well because obviously it was launched on Solana. So the pair was Solana slash Trump, and all fees were being paid in Solana. All fees will be taken in Solana. It blew up to something like 70 something billion dollars. It broke every record for the most insane launch of all time, right? That's what it did. And people were speculating whether or not this would be good for crypto, whether or not this would be bad for crypto. What does it mean for us? And we had to sit and wait. But while we were sitting and waiting, Trump wasn't over. He rolled back around, he spin the block, you understand? He put his girl out the window and she started bust shots. Melania dropped her own token, right? There was Bonnie and Clyde in the crypto market, right? But I think it had some adverse effects. It started sucking the life out of Donald's token. So we saw a significant decrease in the numbers associated with Donald's token. And then, people started playing the tape forward, right? What does that mean? Does it mean that we're going to have a Barron token, a Donald Trump Jr. token, Ivanka token? So because of that, I think people started kind of holding off, waiting. Everybody was looking for the next token. Everybody was launching the next token. There were a lot of fakes coming out. People started speculating whether or not Elon was going to drop his own token. And I think ultimately all the hesitation and speculation around the market ultimately got to the market, and we saw a significant reduction in Trump token from its all-time high of 70 something dollars. I think right now it's trading somewhere at $38 or somewhere around there. You guys know not been shy about my feelings about Donald J, who was born in 46, but he's better known as being the 45th and 47th President of the United States. You all know how I feel about this guy. If you don't know, well, you're going to know now. I don't like him, right? I think he's a misogynist. I think he's a racist. I think he's an all wrong bad guy. I too, I'm a sinner. But here what? I'm going to live up in my gas house and I'm going to throw stones still, right? So, my pride didn't allow me to participate in purchasing Trump, but I did take the opportunity to short the shit out of that motherfucker, right? And I did make a few coins. I make a few coins, right? I shorted it from somewhere around 60 something dollars down to about $38. Not a bad day at the office. But all that to say, the man wasn't even inaugurated yet. But since he's come into office, he has pardoned a bunch of people, including what is his name? Ulrich. What is his official name? I know the man name. William Ulrich. I don't know the man. I don't know the man. I don't know him from wherever. But him and the guy who found Silk Road, and he was imprisoned for life because of his use of that website, using Bitcoin to do and facilitate a bunch of nefarious acts across the world. President Trump has since pardoned him. He has been released from prison. A lot of people in the crypto space cheered on for that. And then today, a few hours ago, President Trump signed a presidential order. And let me tell you what that order said, right? I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to misquote myself, but he signed an executive order to make America the world capital of crypto. He banned the central bank digital currencies, and he has signed a presidential order to create, well, not to create, but to have conversations about creating a national digital asset stockpile. A little different from his strategic Bitcoin reserve. Does that mean he's going to try to sneak Trump token in there? Right? Is he going to use the Federal Reserve's endless bankroll of US dollars to prop up Trump token and set up his family for generations and generations and generations to come? I don't know, that I would not do it if I was him, right? That's why I say. I'm not saying he's gonna do it, but I don't know if I was in his shoes if I wouldn't have do it, right? So that's one thing I might not judge him too harshly on. But everything else, right. So in 3 days, this man has created an amazing amount of chaos, repealing tons of stuff. I'm not going to talk about anything that is not related to crypto, but a lot of people are happy, a lot of people are sad. And interestingly enough, despite what you think about the man, he is one of the few politicians who have come into office and immediately start executing on some of the promises he made on the campaign trail. So you can say what you want about him, but he didn't lie this time, right? I mean, kind of, right? Bitcoin strategic reserve, digital asset stockpile, kind of different, right? But he doing things. There was one thing the man doing things, and despite how you might feel about him, how I definitely feel about him, the facts are that Donald J. Trump is the most pro crypto president the United States has ever had in its the short history of Bitcoin's existence. Right? We had a few presidents. We had Barack, we had Biden, we had Trump's first presidency. But in this presidency, he has seemingly turned the page, turned the corner. Um, he started kind of dabbling last cycle. He launched his NFTs. Where they are, I ain't gonna say nothing about that, right? Are we gonna see Trump token follow a similar trajectory? I don't know. I just say, right? That's what he did, right? And he has clearly listened to the people around him, which is more than you could say for most politicians. Most of them don't listen to him, thing, but he's listened to the people around him, and he has changed his perspective on crypto, and he is the guy who is pushing um, the Bitcoin narrative globally amongst global leaders. He has not set up that Bitcoin strategic reserve, but who is to say that this will not open the floodgates for other G7, G8, G20 leaders to now try to get ahead of the US and their strategic Bitcoin reserves? I mean, we already know that a couple of states have taken front and they are putting things in place at the state level in terms of those Bitcoin strategic reserves. So maybe he thought it was necessary to call it by that name. And no matter how we feel about him in 100 years, 200 years from now, when we look back on the development of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain, um, Trump's name is going to be called as being one of the pivotal persons and the most influential persons in terms of how um, the space has developed, how the technology has developed. He has committed to making America the place for the development of crypto and blockchain industry. Um, it's one thing that he doesn't want to see America's not allies take front on, and I think history is gonna speak kindly of him as a result of that. Um, I don't think that Bitcoin specifically needed Trump to enable its adoption, but he has definitely, and he definitely will fast track its adoption. Um, all the other cryptocurrencies, maybe they need Trump, right? The crypto industry at large, I think this has been a big jolt of energy, even though the markets have not yet reacted in the way that we expected them to. What it is ultimately going to lead to in terms of a cycle topping price, we are yet to figure that out. But as it often comes down to, we're gonna have to watch and wait and see what takes place. But I think we're in a good place, son. If you're somebody who has been sitting on the sidelines, maybe it's time to get up. If you're someone who has been dabbling, maybe it's time to be a little bit more serious. And as I always say, the only way to do that is to get the information. The education is free, the information is free. Seek it out, do your own research, because We are not here to give you financial advice. What I want to do is you do it yourself as up to him, right? I'm not telling you what to do. But as always, I believe that adoption is inevitable. So, are you going to be there when I'm there? When Bitcoin is 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, a milli, 2 milli, 10 milli? Will you be there? I will be here on a Thursday. Hopefully, if technology don't fuck with me, hopefully 7 p.m. sharp Atlantic Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Illuminati out for the second time around. Y'all got double whammy today. Guys, be safe, drink and degen responsibly. It's Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. Make sure you have one Hennessy for the cooler for that fete, cooler for the next fete. What we have here? Hennessy. 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 Right? Buy one for the collection, buy one for the cooler. Buy two for the cooler, one for the collection, three for the cooler. Right? Hennessy is available wherever liquor is sold. If you don't have Hennessy, that's not a real liquor shop. That's not a real spirit shop. That's not a real store. It's not a real grocery, right? If Hennessy not selling there, you don't need to be there. Guys, peace. Illuminati. Bless.